Yo, 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 what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. We've got the worst mirror matchup ever here. We've got Katakuri versus Katakuri, and we just wanted to test it out, see how it felt in OP04, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, no change. It's still terrible. It is absolutely awful, but it's good when you roll an 11 to start, and he gets a 3, so I get to choose second. We take those, not too bad. Well, we're going up against my man David here. I'm looking at my hand, and it seems pretty dang good. The only thing I'm nervous about is that this matchup does come down to who gets more 10-drop Big Moms at the very end of the match. And we don't have any in hand, but I do have 2 Sparrows, and that means more than likely we'll find one. So I'm banking on that, as well as life and, you know, some of the top decking is just going to be in my favor. Since we're running 4 in the deck, we'll probably end up finding 1 or 2. I'm okay with that. 2's usually the sweet spot. If you can find 3 and chain them back to back to back, it's kind of disgusting, but you hate just having 3 in your hand from an early stage in the game. But he will just swing 7. I'll go ahead and take that. And yeah, I think we pick up a pudding right there. So going up to 4 Dawn, I am just going to swing 5. So I'm going to take as many opportunities as possible to find that 10-drop Big Mom if possible. So I'll just go ahead and play pudding. And we're just searching through some of the cards here. It looks as though we do not find it, but I do find an 8-drop Katakuri. I had my normal Katakuris in another deck at the moment, so I just kind of, you know, just said, hey, all right, I'll take the proxies for now, and we'll just work with it. But going to 5 Dawn, gonna pass it over, and my opponent could potentially have the Randolph. We could see the 4-drop Cracker coming down. Also, Sparrow's an option. If he starts to do some early card draw with Sanji, that would be pretty crazy. Not building much of a board, but yeah, we do see the Sparrow and then just the pass over. So going up to 6 Dawn now, we can play our own vanilla Sparrow. And oh my god, I couldn't pick up that card. I'll swing 5. He counters out for 1k. And actually, we decided to do it a little bit differently. I look at his life. I see a Big Mom in the top of his life, and I said, nay, not today, good sir. I'll put that to your bottom. And 7 at life does end up getting the Cracker, and he's got to choose a card to trash. It is a 2k counter, so I'm pretty happy about that. It looks as though his entire hand is filled with 2k counters, and then just the 8-drop Katakuri. So I'm not too mad. But looking at this 7k swing, it does give me information. There's no 7-drop Big Mom coming down, and I think that he definitely should have swung with Cracker, or maybe even like Sparrow first, just to make me kind of scared of the 7-drop. But I do just let the Sparrow go, and we'll counter out of that 1k swing from Sanji. And now we're probably just going to see maybe a 7k from Sparrow. Maybe not. Maybe not. He's looking at his hand. He's not too pleased, but he'll pick up the Sanji. I think he's been looking for some of those top-end cards and just not finding them, and that's the bad part about this mirror matchup. But he's got a ton of counter in hand, which is pretty scary for us. But I'm just going to keep countering out. And then I think we see a Sparrow here. It's a 3-drop Sparrow. The light was just hitting perfectly. Yeah, light was just hitting perfectly in the center of that. But we'll see 5 into Sanji. So Sanji's definitely going to get going here. We'll see 7 into the Cracker. I think I did this backwards. I think I should have done 7 into the Cracker, and then to see if he does save that, and then choose whether I wanted to play that card or not. But we get the 8-drop Katakuri down. I'm considering whether I want to bounce back like Cracker, or if I want to bounce back my own pudding to my hand, and I do choose to go with that, you know, knowing that if he didn't play 7-drop last turn, he's more than likely not going to play it this turn. But if he does, I can just trash the pudding and feel totally fine about it, because I got my usage out of it, and now I'm not down on the life race that yellow versus yellow ends up going through. He's got 9 Dawn to work with this turn. Definitely a lot to Definitely a lot to think about, because he could go for the Randolph, or he could just go for life. But we'll see the 7k swing coming from leader into Randolph. I will just counter out of this. I don't know if he really wants to use the Cracker double attack or not, but it looks as though he's just going to swing 5. I will take that, and then another 5. So now that I know that Cracker's kind of out of that sweet spot of being able to use the ability, I'm not super worried about it. I'll just go ahead and take the card. We'll see 8 drop, and yeah, Randolph gets bounced back, which I was like, oh, interesting. Interesting. Definitely thought we'd be seeing, you know, the 8 drop Katakuri itself getting bounced, but I'll take a potential 1k counter. Now he does let this Cracker go. I'll just go ahead and 10 drop here. And now I do swing 8, but I'm deciding whether I want to swing at the Sparrow or whether I want to swing into life. I think life is a pretty good option here, because getting him down, yeah, so he does counter out of that. Getting him down so that 10 drop doesn't feel as good if he wants to chain them. I'm totally fine. But we're gonna see an 8k swing coming at the Charlotte Katakuri. I'm just gonna counter out with these, but I do have to use 2 counters. We'll see 2 5k swings. I think that we take the first one, and then the second one, I'm deciding whether I want to counter out or not. It's, yeah, it comes down to, you know what? I'm not too worried about it, but we'll just go ahead and take it. Now, a second 8 drop comes down and does bounce the Katakuri yet again to the top of life. So I'm assuming he's got 12 drop Big Mom, if that's what it's going to be like. I do swing 5 at life, he takes. And since he took, I could just go 10 drop and then 12 at life, and that's just GG right there. I don't think he had any counters to get out of that 5k swing, so it just kind of worked out for me. And it looks as though, I think we had the Nakamura Arrow as well as the Strusen 2k counter in life, and I think it was a Sparrow, but not bad altogether. But game 2 here, my opponent has a 10 drop to start, not going to give that up. He's gonna let it fly. And now I'm kind of looking at my hand, thinking to myself, okay, do we have a good start here? He chose to go second this round as well. I'll just go Sparrow to get it going, and I already knew I was picking up that 10 drop right off the rip. You know, gotta have it. It's just too good in this deck, and in the mirror matchup specifically as well. But 2 Dawn does just pass it over to me. I'll go up to 3. It's looking like a solid Sparrow turn, but I'm not sure if we do have it in hand. We do not, so just going to swing. I see what he's got, and I'm like, it's unfortunate, but I'd rather him not have it in his last life, so I do let him just get the Sanji, and he will trash a Sanji for it. Just pass it over. And now, with myself putting down my own Sanji, I feel like that's just telling my opponent I don't have a very good hand. You know, my hand's okay at best. It's trying to do things, and we get Sparrow out of this. I unfortunately do trash my own Sanji blocker, but what are you gonna do? You know, I wanted to potentially be able to get that down, but getting Sparrow out of life already just kind of does me some justice. I'm happy with it. Looks like he's got Thunderbolt, couple of counters in hand, does choose to take this, gets the vanilla Sparrow. And I'll swing 5, we get a counter, and then play Randolph. Randolph and the 6k vanilla are just such nice additions to the yellow list. It's so good. It just makes you feel like you almost can never have a turn where you can't play on curve. It just feels so good. Yeah, and we do get the Sparrow here. Kind of deciding between taking the other Sparrow or the Cracker. I just take the Cracker for the counter power, though, just in case. And I think he just passes it over. We pick up a Thunderbolt. I don't think Thunderbolt's really going to do as much right here. I mean, we could take care of the Sanji, but it really just doesn't feel like it's doing as much here. Yeah. Looks like we go 5 with life. He does just counter out of that. And now I am going to go 7 at life as well. We're going to see a block from Sanji. And then 7 drop Linlin. He does let me have the life. So going up to 5 while he's at 3 doesn't feel too bad at all. But a little upsetting to know that the Sparrow is going to be, you know, probably swinging 9 into it. I'm going to force him to use that card, though, if he really wants to take care of the Randolph. He does swing 8, and I don't know, I was a little surprised by that. I think I would have loved to counter out, but I think we were out of, we were sadly out of those cards. I think I ran out of 2Ks, if I'm not mistaken. You know, that Beji is dead in hand, but God, does it feel good to just get rid of it as a 2K. And then we'll pick up the 8-drop Katakuri here. Not bad at all. Probably just going to bounce back his 8-drop, but I'm a little upset thinking about the fact that if I do play it, I know he's got 10-drop the following turn. And it's like, ah, man, now I lose my Lin because I don't have a lot of my top end in hand at the moment. We just have the one 10-drop Lin. So it's a weird decision, but I think I do just decide to play it, and I go ahead and bounce his 8-drop if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Changing it up. Or am I? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Nah, I just choose to go with his 8-drop. I just know it's gonna be unfortunate thinking about him getting a his own 10-drop Big Mom down, and I might not be able to get that Katakuri off of his life, but we'll see. So we'll see the 5K swing coming in, 5K swing. I will counter out of that, and then he's thinking of going with the 8K, or he might just leave it. No, he does. And yeah, we got a nice little Sanji blocker. That is huge. Trash the Thunderbolt. Don't really need it if for the rest of this matchup. I'll just go ahead. Oh, no. I realized that I almost made a mistake. So I wanted to go 8 into life, right? Guarantee the life. Then go 10-drop just to get rid of that 8-drop Katakuri. Didn't want him to be able to bounce any of the remaining cards from my hand. I am just going to go 5, though. He's easily going to be able to counter out of that. And now, I don't think we're in a bad spot, but we're definitely not in a great spot. We're kind of, you know, following our opponent's momentum. And it's a matter of, can we catch up in time? He does swing 8 here. I had to counter out because if he does have a 10-drop Big Mom, then I can still save my Katakuri for the Sanji blocker. We do take this, unfortunately, and it does happen to be an arrow. I just go ahead and trash my last 2 cards to go back up to 2 life, because I'm not in a great spot either way. I do laugh, though, right here, because I couldn't believe it. I top-decked a 10-drop Big Mom. Can't beat it, you know what I mean? Can't beat that top deck. I'll go 5 into the Sparrow, though. I do not want him to get as many swings as possible out of this. And he does have another 8-drop Katakuri picking up from the Sparrow death effect. I will just go 8 into life right here. Yep. And then the good old-fashioned 10-drop. Pretty good card to get. But now I've got no cards in hand, so I look very bad right now. It's just, yep, there goes that, there goes that, and 5K swing for life. I gotta take. It's looking pretty grim, you know? It's looking pretty grim. He does go 7. We take this as well. We pick up 2 2K counters, though, which is really nice. So I am happy about that. You know, it does give me some potential, you know, counters out of those 5K swings, but here comes a 7-drop Lin. I realized that as soon as he plays this, I'm going to have to trash my last life. There's no way that if I give him the life that I'm winning this game. So I kind of have to go for it, and I know that he's just got too many counters in hand. I think that there might be a way to get there, but it's a lot, you know. Probably just going to have to swing 7. So we go 5 with putting first. We'll see a 1K counter. I do go, I think it's like 8K. Yeah, I think we go 8K with Sanji here. Yep. And he does take. He thinks about whether he wants to use the trigger or not, and he decides not to. I'll just go 8K, and guess what? I look at his life and slam it down because it's Beji, and he won because Beji just stops the Big Mom swing. I am livid at this moment. I'm trying to figure out how in the world do you just beat that card unless you have a +1 swing, you know? It was definitely not my greatest moment. I guess maybe what I could have done instead was swing 7/7 and then leave some dawn open for potentially swinging with pudding, but I just don't think it would have got there. Either way, solid matches. Hate the mirror match. Let me know your thoughts down below, though. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.